started. How many how many viewers do we have now? Do we have any viewers? Okay, 4 people are watching. Okay. Okay, even more. Very good. Okay, so good morning everyone. Okay, good evening everyone actually. So my name is Philip. Maybe someone of you already know me from the beta test of our products. And we are Akara, and today we will tell you many things about our products and our Amazon Prime deals, which is actually still live, and it should finish very soon. So today in the evening, so you still have time to use this deal and get our products with the biggest discount ever, with the lowest prices ever. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, I would like to tell you about our brand. So Akara is quite a young brand that entered US market, US Amazon in 2019, less than 1 year ago, but we already have quite many products, and we have a vision of really comprehensive ecosystem of smart home products, like IoT products. So the thing is, like, we are for eco-friendly, for comprehensive smart home solution. We are trying to provide you a solution that will cover different parts of your home, and this will be the very amazing part. That I think very important part is about the automation. So my opinion is that if you come home, all the products should just work as one ecosystem automatically, without any actions from your side, and I'll develop on this point a bit later. So the company was actually founded in 2014, and now it is actively internationalizing. So we have already entered more than 190 countries, so officially a bit less, but still, like, we are striving to provide this solution to as many countries and as many people as possible, and I hope many people from different countries will watch our live stream today. Okay, first of all, I would like to tell you about the Prime deals we have tonight. So we have quite many products now already on the American market, and we have the big discount, the Prime Day discount, which is obviously the biggest in this year for all the products of our product assortment. So all the products except for our newcomer, which is like D2h Smart Camera with HomeKit Secure Video, and but still, the launch discount of this camera, the launch happened just a few days ago, is still live, and you still can apply this discount. Just check our social media posts or Reddit posts. So if you want to get this camera hub, you can do it, still can do it. As for other products, we just have this kind of assortment, and as I have already said, the discounts on all of these products. So let me explain you what kind of products are participating in our today's Prime Day discount. Once again, you have time to apply the discount. The discount will finish today at night by the US time. Okay, so what do we have now? One part is the sensors. So the devices, battery-powered devices, which are like sending the commands to the controller devices. So sensors tell the controllers what to do, and the idea is to make it automatic. So for example, what kind of sensors do we have right now? So one is vibration sensor, I'll explain it later. Automation is already here, as you can see. Okay, one more is contact or door window sensor, is here. So all of the sensors are quite small, battery powered, long battery life, and I'll elaborate on this later. One more is motion sensor as well, this kind of automation. Yeah, so motion sensor just marks the presence of someone in the room. So if someone moves, you can send the command and you can configure what kind of automation you want to launch triggered by this sensor. One more sensor is temperature humidity sensor, which is here. Also a small one, obviously measures temperature, humidity, and the pressure in your room. So you can schedule the automations based on these parameters. Another part of our, one more sensor is the Waterline Sensor. Quite an important product that I will also elaborate on later. So this is about obviously the water leaks. So if the water spills, this sensor registers it and sends you notification, or just lights up the house, turns on the siren, and so on. And this is actually very handy, and I will explain. Okay, another part of our products are controllers. So controllers can change something in physical world, let's say. For example, the most I think interesting controllers we have is the US switch. US standard wall switch. We have 4 versions of it, like with neutral, non-neutral, 1 and 2 rocker or buttons. So this switch can obviously turn on and off the lights, like exhaust fans, other fans, and so on. So without dimmer capabilities, but it can do many things even without it. So this is the switch, and I can say that taking into account our sensors and this switch, we already can do many interesting things. And I'll just explain you my favorite automations a bit later, and it will stop on every of our products. One more controller for us is the smart plug. This is the smart plug, so we just connect some devices which are having the standard US plug to this smart plug, and they will just work and become smart devices. Which is amazing because you don't have to change anything or buy anything else except for the smart plug to make this kind of devices these devices work and make them smart. So what kind of devices can you connect? For example, any kind of lamps, any kind of like coffee machine to turn it on in advance, some toasters, and much more. Obviously, almost any of the product which is hardwired using a US plug, and that can be has a power off method, which means like if it turns back on, it will turn on automatically. You will not have to press the button. In this case, it will work with our smart plug, and this will be it will become smart solution. Okay, so I'll tell you about the discounts of Prime Day. As I have said, our prices for today are actually all-time lowest for US Amazon. So we are giving you the biggest discount ever. So you can just be sure that the prices are like really low to get the sensors for your house. Okay, one more part of our products are the hubs. So as we are using ZigBee technology, which is apparently the best solution for the smart home of today, I'll explain it later as well. So we obviously need a hub, so special device that will connect all these controllers and sensors together and make them perform the automations and all other controls. Connect them to the network of your Wi-Fi home network. I believe this is much better than, for example, the Wi-Fi solution which is present on the market. I'll explain later as well. So for the hubs, we have for now just 2 options, but later we'll have more. So one option is our classic Akara hub. So not just a hub, it's also a night RGB light, and even more so, and this siren. So it's not like you're buying some device that doesn't have any additional value. This is mostly about the value by itself. So you buy a hub, apart from the hub, you'll get an extra features. The light is quite nice, so you can configure the color of the light, the brightness of the light, and you have a siren, and you will hear it later. Okay, and this is D2h, our new D2h HomeKit secure video camera. So I think one of the best solutions in the segment of HomeKit secure video cameras. And what is amazing about this camera? So basically, it is one of the most cost-efficient solutions in the segment. But compared to all of our hi guys. So I'm welcoming Eric from Modern Day Tech, as is Raman. So as for IFTTT, unfortunately for now we don't have the support, but we are planning to add the support quite soon. Although maybe you are not very amazed about the IFTTT recent moves to make it mostly paid, but still we'll try to support it later this year, early hope. Okay, okay, hello from Colombia, so Juan Camilo Arcila, hi, so thank you for allowing the Akara devices. Okay, thank you Eric as well. Okay, well, let's continue, sorry, just a moment. Okay, so what do we have here? One more advantage of our products is the support of many ecosystems. So initially our products were mostly supporting HomeKit, Apple's HomeKit, and even me, like Android user, I believe HomeKit is apparently the best ecosystem for smart home devices. It has I believe much more capabilities, and we support HomeKit as well as possible. So basically, if you check our product portfolio and compare with competitors, we have one of the strongest, and in some segments, like for example sensors, the strongest solution of HomeKit compatible devices. At the same time being quite cost efficient, I think we are very strong in this segment. At the same time, we do support very popular assistants or ecosystems of Amazon Alexa and Google Home. So unfortunately not all of our devices are supported, so unfortunately, because like for example Google does not support all the types of sensors, Google even doesn't support automations for now, fortunately. It's mainly voice controlled ecosystems or routines. For Amazon it's a bit better, but still not all the sensors are supported, so we can do nothing about the support of some devices, but we will add as much support of these ecosystems as possible, because we know like not everybody has iPhones. iPhone sharing in the US is not that like that big, quite big, so some other people who don't have iPhone will have to use other ecosystems, because HomeKit is now just single platform, although very interesting solution. Okay, so this was about our ecosystem and my point about automation. So I really believe that smart home is mostly about automation. So there are two types of controlling the devices. One is like fully automatic, second one is obviously manual. So I can say that controlling the devices using voice assistants such as like Siri, okay, Google, Google Assistant or Alexa, yeah, it's cool. So this is not a very unique feature, but still, I think this is mostly manual. So if you come home and activate your devices by your voice, mainly, it means that the automations at your home don't work. And I believe, compared automations with these voice assistants, automations are simply much more advanced. So instead of just coming home and say, I came home, you should just come home, and the home should understand that you came home, and it should turn all the devices on or off as you want them automatically. And this is like really different level. I believe our devices using our Akara Home app or HomeKit or other ecosystems that support automations are much stronger, having these automation capabilities. So for example, for me, I just come home really like, the light turns on, the bathroom exhaust turns on automatically, I don't touch it, like based on humidity or all the sensors. I'll explain it later. So what else? The smart curtain, this is for the future for the US market, but for now, just these sensor products. Okay, okay, one more question from our viewers. So, okay, yes, as for the GSM SIM card for backup notifications, I'm trying to move forward with this feature. I really understand that unfortunately for now we don't have any cellular backup, so if there is no connection, we can do nothing. So our automation still will keep working, but the connection to the network will just disappear. Okay, one more. So for now, unfortunately, no this backup, but I hope in the future Hubs will have this feature, and they'll do everything to make it happen. Okay, one more question about Amazon Spain. Yes, we know. I'm trying to push this as well. So our sales department, I wish them luck to make it as fast as possible. There is a plan to enter all the European Amazons, and I really hope it will happen quite soon. Maybe before. Okay, actually, I think next year. So beginning of next year. I really hope for that. Okay. Thank you, Jocelyn. I love Akara. Okay, does Akara works with Alexa? Yes, it does work with Alexa, but unfortunately we are limited by some of the sensors. So Alexa does not support all the devices we have. So, so some of the sensors are not supported, but we are doing everything to add as many devices as possible. Okay, M1S in the US. Yes, you heard about M1S. This will be our next hub, which actually will not differ much from the current version of Akara Hub. Just a few like mostly cosmetic differences. It will arrive in the US a bit later, but I don't think like you have to consider it as a big upgrade from original Akara Hub. So you could wait or get D2h maybe if you want really like the latest solution from us. But it obviously will arrive in the US later. Okay, so let's move on. I wanted to tell you about our maybe one of the biggest competitive advantages. This is about the Zigbee technology. So some people say Zigbee is the best, apparently the best smart home technology, and I can tell you why. So we chose Zigbee, and we are developing Zigbee in our devices, and we are only launching Zigbee devices, like, except for some rare exceptions for this rule, on all of our markets. So in the US now, in Europe as well, we only have Zigbee devices that are connected together using our hubs. So now I can tell you why Zigbee technology is one of the best, or even the best, for me, obviously the best solution for smart home. So, okay, the first thing is about battery life. We have many competitors that use Wi-Fi standard. So, of course, they're cheaper, you don't need a hub in this case, but this Wi-Fi technology does impose many restrictions, especially on the battery life, as sensors, such as these ones, are one of the biggest and one of the most important advantage of our ecosystem. So in this case, the battery life matters a lot. So if your sensor will be like this, big one, not like this, small, and it will incorporate many batteries inside, and its battery life will be 3 months, let's say, not 2 years or even more like our sensor have. In this case, I think the sensor will be not so competitive by itself. So really, Zigbee can offer you much smaller and much more energy efficient devices. And have you thought about the batteries and the harm to the ecology when you are recycling the batteries? I think it's also the point. So in case of our sensor, we just have a really small battery that lasts for 2 or even more years depending on your usage, so sometimes even 4 years for many people. So, and this small battery that should be recycled, let's say, in 2 or 4 years, compared to some Wi-Fi sensors which have, for example, oh my god, okay, this is our automation, I'll explain it later. So there is a big difference, I think, in terms of ecology and the harm to the nature. Like if you compare 3 big or AAA batteries to the small batteries which are used in our sensors. So we have small that batteries such as CR2432. I think in the majority of our sensors we have more information on this on our website, and you can check which kind of battery is supported by each of the sensors. So many of the sensors do have the same battery, so you can just be good with let's say 2 types of the batteries for all of our sensors, just to change them in 2 or even more years when the battery runs out. Okay, one more question. So will Google Home Alexa ever work with Xiaomi Home app when the N200 supports NFC unlocking Humidity 5? Okay, as for the N200, I cannot tell much, unfortunately, because we are not supporting this product from our in our car ecosystem. So I don't have the answer to this question. So once again, the upper one, the previous one. Okay, thank you. Google Home Alexa in Xiaomi Home app. Okay, let me explain the Xiaomi Home situation now. So we have some devices that support Xiaomi, like Google and Alexa on Xiaomi, but our direction actually is not about this support, because now we are trying to develop our own Akara home ecosystem. So there are some restrictions from Xiaomi, so basically we have to choose between letting people use the Xiaomi Home app or Akara Home app. Of course, Xiaomi has much more products, so for now we have no choice, and we are lucky, maybe we are lucky to develop our own ecosystem. And I believe we will make this ecosystem stronger, even stronger, or maybe more convenient than Xiaomi someday. Okay, make for the host. Sound is not very good. Okay, what can we do about it? So, maybe we should increase the sound, but I don't know. So I'll try to speak a bit louder, okay? So if someone else does have some problems with sound, please tell me, and we'll try to do something about it. Okay. Second advantage of Zigbee. So battery life is the first one. The second one is the repeaters. So for example, if we have a smart plug, let's say Wi-Fi smart plug, and it is located in some room, and some more Wi-Fi devices like sensors or switches are located in second room, and this second room is too far from the router, and in this case, what can the Wi-Fi device do? It can do basically nothing. Why? Because because the signal Wi-Fi will not get to them as well as possible, which will lead to what? To actually disconnects, to the commands which are not happening in the right way. So you will press some wireless button and the switch will not turn on or off the light, which is not good. So in case of Zigbee, this disadvantage can be easily solved. How? You don't have to buy many hubs. You just have to buy our devices which are hardwired. So what kind of hardwired devices do we have? First of all, this is a smart plug, so it has a constant connection to the electricity. And because of this, it can act as a repeater. This is a native feature of Zigbee protocol we are using. And this kind of smart plug will just be a repeater for the Zigbee network. So let's say hub will connect with the smart plug and the sensor will connect to the smart plug, not directly to the hub, in case the smart plug is closer to the sensor as the hub. In this case, the network will be much more stable. So, and obviously, in case of too weak signal between the hub and the sensor will just use the smart plug to get this signal and participate in the automation, even in case of the big distance or many volts or something like this between the hub and the device by itself. So this is about repeaters. So what other devices can act as repeaters? So first of all, smart plug, and obviously our wall switch. So, but we have 4 models of wall switch. 2 of them are bit neutral, 2 of them are non-neutral. So only bit neutral do act as repeaters. Why? Because like non-neutral don't have a live wire that provides them extra power. Okay, made in, so obviously made in China. You can compare with many other manufacturers. Even like, for example, German Bosch is made in China. You know, this is quite a big brand. So it's not that Apple is made in China. Come on, we are made in China as well. Okay. One more advantage of Zigbee protocol is the direct connection feature. So this is mainly about Zigbee 3.0. So for 3.0, we only have our new D2h hub, and some more hubs will come hit the market later this year. Zigbee 3.0. For our original car hub is original, like supports Zigbee 1.2. Although the new Zigbee 3.0 devices can work with it without any problems. But the new protocol, what kind of devices, first of all, are supporting Zigbee 3.0? So this is our switch, which was launched in April or beginning of May. So this switch uses this new protocol, and this protocol adds a very handy feature for our Zigbee network stability. So this feature is about the direct connection. So increased stability hub. If we have a Zigbee 3.0 hub, and let's say one controller like a switch, and one sensor or mini switch like this, so if it is supporting Zigbee 3.0 as well, in this case, even if the hub goes down, so if there is no electricity or network connection or some problem happening on the hub, in this case, these 2 devices will still be connected, and when you will just press this button, even without the hub, it will turn on the switch. I think this is quite amazing, and this is like something that not every smart home technology can give to you. Okay, this is about Zigbee 3.0. Of course, we will launch much more Zigbee 3 devices since now, so all the devices we launch basically will support the Zigbee 3. We just simply will grow this kind of big ecosystem around Zigbee 3.0 in the nearest future as in the future. Okay. So we have one more advantage about Zigbee technology is about the speed of the connection. So compared to Wi-Fi, where sometimes the information goes from the device to the cloud, to the router, to the cloud, and back, so it takes much more time, so you will have some delays. You will still notice it, but in case of Zigbee, it should be obviously completely not there. Why? Because our Zigbee ecosystem is slow. It means like without the internet connection, everything will keep working. So, for example, you can see this kind of automation. I'll open this door. There is an automation between the door window sensor and, let's say, a smart switch, because we don't have the smart bulb in the US. We'll have it in the future, I hope. So, let's say there is a switch like this, and this light, which is there, is connected to the switch. This switch has an automation. This is connected to this door window sensor. When you open the door, the light will go on. Let's set the speed. You see? Immediately. See? Close, it closes. Second automation, when you close the door, the light goes off. Okay, let's test again. You can see. This is about Zigbee, so, and even if, even if there will be no internet connection, I will not disable the network here at the company, but still, nothing will happen. So this automation will keep working, and this is about Zigbee, and this is something majority of Wi-Fi, cheaper Wi-Fi devices cannot provide you. Okay. So, next point, of course, Zigbee has more. Okay, what is your role in a car? Okay, so my responsibility is about like product marketing, but at the same time, I'm doing something like the overseas testing. Maybe you have seen some posts from our social media or like overall on Reddit. So we have a database of beta testers, so you can join as well. And of course, I'm doing some live streams like this since now. So actually, this is the first live stream we are doing from this office, and this is something amazing. I hope in the future we can do more. Okay, let's keep discussing the Zigbee technology. All of our devices are based on it. Okay, and last advantage I wanted to tell you about is about the number of devices. So we are steadily increasing the number of devices with our new hubs. So officially, our original Akara gateway can support 32 devices without repeaters. D2h, which is Zigbee 3.0 gateway inside. It has the maximum number of 64 devices, but in this case, you should use some repeaters. For example, the smart plug-on switch or wall switch I did already discuss before. One more question from one of our viewers. So new products, we will have some new products for many markets later this year. So please stay tuned with our social networks. For example, more hubs, some more sensors. But I think the main release of this year is already here. So two main releases for the US market. These are the wall switch, which was launched last spring, and the D2h HomeKit Secure Video Camera, which was launched just recently, just a few days ago, and you can still check our offers in all of our social networks, like let's say 4 days ago, or in Reddit. Okay. So the number of devices, I didn't finish, So for this hub, the number is like 32 devices without repeaters. For D2h, 64 devices with repeaters, but the new hubs, which will come later, will support up to 128 devices, including with the repeaters. Actually, as for the repeaters, I do advise you using them just because like this, the network becomes more stable. So this is the feature of Zigbee. You will have just more distributed network, and even if some of the nodes of this network will come down, in this case, still, your network will be live and your automations will keep working. So the number is so big that at some point, we'll have so many devices that someone may be possible to make a network on 122 devices, which is amazing. I already know some people who have, let's say, 60 devices at their homes, or even more, I think. So actually, the number is quite big, and we will keep up with the growth of our device ecosystem, and we'll provide you with the highest device count as possible. If you have tried to connect 100 devices to your router, for example, I think you will have very expensive. You will have to have a very expensive router, or maybe many routers, which will cost much more money to you compared to, for example, to the combo of our hub, like the Akara hub, and the D2h HomeKit Secure Video Camera. Okay. But all these advantages of Zigbee technology do not come for granted. Of course, because of this, we do need to use the hubs, as I have already said, but we don't have a big issue. Compared to some of our competitors, our hubs do have rather much additional value. As I have already said, our Akara hub has the function of siren and the function of RGB light, so you can configure the light, brightness and color. So it has a really powerful speaker, which will make you like the alert, make you hear the alert even if you are quite far from it. And our latest hub, which is D2h Smart Camera Hub, so does have the feature of the camera. So at the same time, a Zigbee hub for our devices and the HomeKit Secure Video Camera. So It means like you buy a camera, you get hub and can buy the devices without the need of purchasing our Akara hub. This is think amazing, and in the future we'll have much more hubs with extra functionality compared, as I have said, compared to some competitors, which often have just a hub that has a single function with the hub, doesn't work really well with. Okay, so and now it's time to check all of our devices. We have discounts on. So once again, Prime Day is finishing tonight, so you still have time to apply the discounts. You have the maximum, the lowest price ever for all of our sensors and controllers, except for the D2h as well. Actually, the discount is still live, so feel free to check our recent posts in social media or in Reddit. So feel free to buy our sensors and controllers for this Prime deal. But for this, you'll have to have the Prime subscription. Obviously, this is the rule of Prime Day. Okay, first of all, let's start from the sensors. I'll just explain the use cases and the use of each of our sensors, controllers, and all the products which are discounted, which are participating in our Prime Day deals. So the maximum discount amount percentage is 35%, which is quite big. So I'll tell how much of the discount will each of our products have, and once again explain the use cases of all of our devices. Let's get started. So the first sensor we have here is the motion sensor. So the automation already works. So motion sensor is a small sensor that registers the motion, the movement of people and animals. So if something like this moves in your room, it can trigger the automations or send you notifications. So what is good about the sensor? We have a rotatable stand like this, so you can stick it in many places compared to some other competitors which are more flat like this sensor. So here you can just stick it as where you want, and this is very important, for example, because like for this sensor, the direction of it so just decides how much it will be used. So it has a very big field of view, so this kind of sensor will just register all the movement around, but if you don't want to register some part of this spectrum, you can just turn it like this. So just a small part of the sensor will be exposed, so if you will move in this way, the automation will not turn on. So for this sensor we have simple automation, so already configured here. If this sensor registers motion, it does turn on the light of the hub. At the same time, you can use the mode switch to trigger the turning on and off of your lights or light bulb in some other regions, but for the US, just the switch and let's say the night RGB light of the hub. So let's do this automation quite fast as well, as we are based on ZigBee, as I have already explained. So just small movement and immediately this hub goes on and the lights turns on, as you have seen. So locally, without dependence on internet connection, even if something happens with your connection, this automation will keep working. At the same time, of course, it can be used as a part of our alarm system, so if the alarm is turned on, in this case, if someone moves inside your room, you will get a notification. And with the D2h Smart Camera, you will be able to see the triggering of the sensors on the timeline of your video. So, for example, if your motion sensor was triggered, you will be able to see like when it did happen, like on the cold day of your footage, which is recorded by D2h Smart Camera Hub. Okay, so what kind of automation I particularly like about the motion sensor? So first of all, as I have already said in the video, so the entrance, you come, for example, to your room, the light goes on automatically. The same for the bathroom, for example. For me, I never press the button of the switch, so I just come inside the bathroom, the motion sensor does register the movement and turns on the light. After I go out, after 5, let's say, minutes, this light goes down. And it just works, and this is very convenient. And I think in some cases even healthy, because now you know the infection can be transmitted using some surfaces like switch. In my case, I don't touch anything, thanks to this motion sensor and the automations. Okay, so one more use case for motion sensor is in the bed. So actually you can stick it somewhere near to the bed, point it so that you can test several times so that it does register when someone goes to the bed, and in my case it simply triggers the automation of turning the lights down, turning on some small lights like RGB light of this stuff, like this, let's say night light, and as well like closes the curtain, which is like for now, of course, for the US market we don't have the smart curtains, but like later I hope we'll have. So this is about the motion sensor. Motion sensor tonight, as for the prime deals, we have the percentage of 27% in terms of discount. So the price is all-time lowest. So for Prime Day, we are given the biggest discount we can give to you. So and now you can get this sensor with the biggest discount with the lowest price. Okay, this was about one of the main sensors of ours, motion sensor. Second sensor I want to cover is the door window sensor. One of the oldest of our sensors. Just a moment. So it's here. It does consist of two parts. So one part is magnetic part, electronic part with a battery and the sensor itself, and second part just a magnet. This sensor does register when this magnet goes out of the field, and it can trigger the automations based on this event. So for this door window sensor, the automation is very okay. By the way, this is the automation as well. So the hub light did go off after 1 minute, after no motion was registered here. Okay, door window sensor, small as well. The same battery life of 2 years, which is amazing, I think. So registering, opening, and closing the windows, doors, and all other devices which are, let's say, like has some movable part. So I'll explain one more use case a bit later. So here the automation is very simple. If you open this, let's say, improvised door, the hub light, the light inside will go on. So this is like the typical use case for entering the room. As well, my door window sensor turns on the light when I enter the room in the evening. It just works flawlessly without any issues for already like 1 year, I can say. So let's start this automation at speed and how well it works overall. Once again, in this setup, let's imagine this light, this bulb which is inside, is connected to our smart switch. The smart switch is controlling the dumb bulb here. So open, immediately, once again, this is how our door window sensor works. So close, goes down fast. Okay, in fact, in case of our switch, the turning on and off of the bulb will not be so gradual, so it just go on like normal switch, but there is no more difference compared to our switch if you speak about this setup. Once again, automation of closing and opening the door is it. Light is on, light is off immediately. Because of what? Because of ZigBee. Okay, one more interesting use case actually is marketed by some of our competitors. We haven't marketed it yet, so quite unusual, I can say. So I just stick door window sensor on the toilet, and the thing is like when the toilet lid opens, in this case the bathroom exhaust turns on, and I think this is something which is quite like logical and it just works flawlessly as well. For me, the switch like this one is connected to the bathroom exhaust, like easily, just like no neutral version in my case. And thanks to this switch and our door window sensor, which is attached to the lid of the toilet, I can turn on and off this kind of bathroom exhaust in case I go to the toilet. And I think it just should be quite easy to understand the purpose of this automation. Once again, I never use my switch physically to turn on and off this kind of bathroom exhaust, because my bathroom exhaust is just controlled automatically. And I think, yes, once again, automations, I believe, are much more advanced than some voice controls, and voice controls are only feasible in the case when the automations are lacking something. For example, you are doing something not in the way you are doing it usually, and in this case, you will have to correct, let's say, your automation framework thanks to using the voice assistants such as Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa. Okay, some more questions from one of our viewers. So, how do I become a beta tester?
So unfortunately our community is not working right now, but you can search our Akara Reddit, something like beta test, and there I think you can find the post when I was recruiting the testers. So there you will find the link. You can just press and register for the participation in our beta test. M2 Hub. So M2 Hub later. Please wait. For now we have Akara Hub and D2h. Later this year, quite soon, M2 will be live as well. When will Akara support home night away security states in HomeKit? So this is a big question. Okay, not a big question. So unfortunately for our Akara Hub, we only support 2 modes. So away, and off. But for our new hubs, such as M2 and M1S later, they will hit the market later. So in this case, we'll have all the 4 native HomeKit alarm modes in our hubs, and you will just enjoy them. Okay, one more. When M2 will come to the US, I think quite soon. Stay tuned. I don't have exact date. Sorry. One more. The last one. Okay, one more question from our viewers. Any plans to make M1S available in the US? Yes, sure, we have a plan, but for now I can say that there is no big difference between M1S. Our sales manager is here actually. Okay, between the Akara Hub and M1S, just cosmetic. Okay, maybe the alarm modes is the big difference for some people, but not for everyone. But basically the difference is not big, so feel free to get the lowest price on our Akara Hub now using the all-time highest discount. Light bulb is not available on the US market. Any plans for the future? Yes, there is a plan, but you know, like the bulb standards and voltage standards are not the same between European and the US market. So we cannot make just one bulb for 2 regions. We would like to launch this kind of European bulb in the US, but we just cannot do it. So later, I really hope, and there is a plan to make a US smart bulb. But for now, you can just use the switches. So we have 4 switches, 2 with neutral, 2 without neutral, 1 and 2 button additions. I think this is pretty good solution for lighting. Of course, some people will prefer the bulbs, but switches are also a solution just for now when the bulb has not hit the market yet. Okay. So I did tell you about door window sensor, and let's check the discount. We have now described the discount, all-time highest, all-time lowest price, not highest of course. Okay, door window sensor has a discount of 28%, which is very significant. Once again, we are giving the lowest price ever, highest discount possible for this Prime Day. Okay. So overall discount up to 35%, but for door window sensor the discount accounts for 28%. Okay, next sensor I want to discuss is the vibration sensor. This sensor is a bit like interesting. It has some features maybe not unusual. Not all of our competitors do have this kind of sensors in their portfolio. Okay, this small sensor is here, so what does it register? 3 things. It does register a drop, a tilt, and vibration obviously. So these 3 things you can configure automations using this sensor. Okay, and what are the actual use cases of this vibration sensor? So here we have automation configured. For example, if you tilt, you see, this hub turns on the RGB light immediately once again thanks to Zigbee, and in a stable way even without the internet connection. The same for like dropping this kind of sensor. So if you drop it, it will trigger whatever you want. So you can turn on all the lights, turn an alarm on the hub like some alarm sound, or for example send you notification via the internet. So for example, if you're away, in this case, this sensor will register if someone can break something inside your house or open a drawer and so on. For example, you see the window, and if occasionally the window just breaks or there is some vibration detected, so someone is trying to break in or something like that, in this case you will get all of your alarms ringing at the maximum sound, at the same time get a notification. Maybe in case you have our Akara D2h camera, In this case, you will even get the video footage, what's happening inside your house, which is, I think, quite amazing. Okay, one more use case for the vibration sensor is the usage of this sensor inside the drawer. For example, you have a drawer, you have some interesting, valuable things inside, and you want to know when someone has opened this drawer. So you just stick this small sensor inside so that it is invisible. For example, the deepest place available in this drawer, and every time this drawer will be opened like this, so like moved. In this case, you will get it locked, so you will be able to see in the lock, like when the drawer was opened, when what kind of action was registered by this sensor, like vibration or tilt or drop as well. Turn on like this, yeah. Okay, this is second use case for this sensor. One more use case which is discussed quite much on Reddit, for example, is the usage of this vibration sensor with motion. Dishwasher. Unfortunately, our app does not support this feature, so it's quite advanced. This use case is unofficial, but for some reason many people are very excited about this use case. Technically, it's possible. I already have heard about some users that can use our sensors, our vibration sensor in this kind of automation. So this automation is about the registering when the sensor does not detect any vibration. For example, if you use some third-party apps to configure this automation, you can know when your washing machine turns off. Actually, for now, we are developing an out-of-the-box solution for this kind of automation, and I think quite soon we will have some devices that will be able to register when your dishwasher or washing machine is going on, is going off. I hope this will be a smart plug, maybe next edition of vibration sensor, but for now, only third-party apps. But I know you guys are quite excited about this use case, and I think this will be good to make notifications, to get notifications from when your washing machine has already washed the clothes, but you haven't hanged the clothes, haven't opened the door of the washing machine using the door window sensor as well. Okay, these are all the use cases of vibration sensor I wanted to discuss with you. So once again, the same battery life, well, you see, quite sensitive. So battery life of 2 years, but if you use it not like every day, many times, in this case, obviously, battery life will be increased to much more years, up to I think 4. I have heard people are using for 4 years without any issues. Okay, this is like the particular point of all of our sensors. The same type of battery and the same quite like cost efficient. This sensor is cost efficient, and our price today is once again all-time lowest. And the price for the vibration sensor for now, let me check, is it was $19, and now we have a discount of 28%. It is like a bit more than 30 bucks if you are a Prime member and want to participate in the Prime Day deals from Akara. Okay, of course we have more sensors. So one more sensor is a water leak sensor. I think this is a very important sensor for us. And we have the test right here. So it works very simply. It has a nice round design. It has the contacts that do register the water. Okay, actually it works in this case. There are two contacts, and if you short them using the water or using anything else, actually this is some alternative use case. You can make some extenders, which is like more or less DIY solution, but out of the box, the automation and the use case of the sensor is very easy, obviously, to detect the water leaks. So you just put it somewhere where the water leak may happen. For example, let's say this pretty whiskey glass, but no whiskey here, yeah? Okay, so Akara, a water leak sensor connected to Akara Hub, and the alarm automation is on. Just put this water leak sensor into the water and let's see what will happen. Okay, let's wait for that. Okay. You see, So what can it do in case of this alarm being triggered? First of all, of course, turn on the sound when it can be useful. For example, when you are sleeping. So you are sleeping, but the water leak is happening. This is what I actually had at my home a few months ago. So the pipe was starting to leak, and the water leak sensor was somewhere close to the washing machine, and my hub just started this kind of loud alarm. You can increase the volume. This is not maximum volume here. So, and I was woken up, and in this case I just went and turned on the water, and the plumbers were able to fix this kind of leak. If I would not have this kind of automation, in this case I think I would have to pay something maybe. So I think this kind of automation is quite useful. At the same time, in case you are away from home, so you can simply get a notification to your mobile phone, which is important as well. So you will be able to come home as fast as possible and fix this kind of water leakage as fast as possible as well. And I think this is like important for security. This makes our security system much stronger. As for this simple sensor, we have the following deal for today's prime deal. So Waterline Sensor, the regular price is $19 and the discount is the same 28%. So the price is a bit more than 13 bucks. All-time lowest, once again. Okay, Waterline Sensor. As for the battery life, like all other sensors, like rated battery life of 2 years, and of course you can use it for more because of course water leaks are not happening every day, I hope, in your home. Okay. Whiskey glass. Okay, and two more. Okay, one more question from our viewers. When are the new hubs being released? It depends on the market. So if you are in the US, during the next few months. So I don't have exact dates for now, but for other countries, maybe even faster. Depends on your country. Okay, any more questions? Feel free to ask questions. Okay, I use vibration sensor with doorbell to detect when someone is at the door. Nice. So it's like knocking, yeah? So in case you stick this kind of vibration sensor on the door, yeah, if it works, it's perfect. Like sometimes maybe for a doorbell, the best way is this small wireless mini switch. I'll tell about it quite soon, yeah? So, but vibration sensor is one of the use cases as well. So you can basically use it to detect someone, like making some vibrations near the door as well. Okay, but mainly it does detect these three things. So vibration, tilt, and drop. Tilt means it is moved, like in our automation, yeah? Just good. Okay, two more small devices, battery-powered devices we have here are our wireless mini switch, small one, and the cube controller. So for wireless mini switch, really many people, as this, like our viewer has already told, like using Akara as a doorbell. Why? Because it's quite natural. So you have a hub or D2h camera with a speaker, so you can hear the alarm. And you can configure simple automation. So just to put this kind of mini switch outside, to stick it and to attach it like as well as possible. And if someone just presses the button, you will get the alarm from the speaker of the hub here, or even from the speakers of all the hubs you have at home, or using the notification. So even if you are outside your home, you will get a notification via the internet. So you will just know when someone is pressing the doorbell button, and this will be really like smart, very cost-efficient doorbell. This, once again, the price just a bit more than $13 for this kind of device. Let me double check. Okay, wireless mini switch. So original price is $18, and now the discount is even bigger. It's 33%, and now the price is a bit more than $12. So this is all-time lowest once again. So really cheap and cost-efficient, kind of like smart doorbell. Without camera, but still it simply works. Battery life 2 years. What else you can do with this mini switch? Just put it somewhere near your bed, let's say, or near your sofa where you're sitting normally. This is how I use it, for example. So what is good about it? Instead of, let's say, something like Alexa, turn on the light or something like this, you can configure simple automations. 3 actions. First action obviously is single press, second action double press, third action, long press. So these three actions you can turn on and off, or schedule any kind of controllers, switching on and off any kind of lights, exhaust fans, and so on, using smart plug and switch for the American market, for example, without needing to ask the voice assistant. Why it's important? So there are two ways. One is to ask the voice assistant. You don't need the mini switch. But second is the press. Why press is sometimes very more useful, just because sometimes your partner or someone may be sleeping, and in this case you will not have to tell it by your voice. So as far as I remember, the whispering is not working in case of the most popular voice assistants here. So once again, wireless mini switch, the all-time lowest price available as well. One more controller, quite a unique one, is our Akara Cube. So it's here. Okay, the shape is close to ideal. Yeah. So no buttons, nothing, just motion controls, like many different controls, 6 as far as I remember. So this is our controller, and I can say that no other company has exactly like this type of controller. And it's mainly about some wow effects, but maybe you will just learn how to control many of your devices using this simple controller, and this will be just a convenient and easy way to control your devices without using the voice assistant. So, and of course, in case the automations do not comply with your requirements. Sometimes, as I have already said, the automations are like you are doing something not in a regular way. Let's say you get up earlier or go back home earlier. In this case, your automations will not work if you configure them not fully enough. In this case, you will be able to use this kind of controllers to control your smart home devices. Easy as well. Configure automations in our Akara Home app and just work. Or not Akara Home app, the same you can do like with HomeKit. Cube is actually the only device that does not support HomeKit out of the box, but some of our our subscribers do have some workarounds about it, so you can check the HomeKit news or some videos on YouTube to get the insight how to make this cube HomeKit compatible as well. A workaround, yeah? So as for the cube, we have a really simple automation, just shows you how it works. For example, this is about the shaking the cube. Okay, what to do? Okay, this is the alarm. So the automation was like this. In case we shake the cube, our D2h Camera Hub starts barking. This is a bit weird, yeah? But it's okay, it just showcases the abilities of our Akara cube. So it has obviously much more automations, much more conditions, such as, for example, moving or what else, switching the side button. Okay, we can just configure inside the app. Okay, as for the price of the cube, the price is also all-time lowest. So Akara cube normal price, like normal regular price is not. Actually, the price is very close to other sensors. So $19 without the discount, and 28 discount for the Prime Day, and the price now is $13. Yeah. Yes. A bit more than $13. Okay. One more question from our viewers. I use the wireless mini switch as a media remote control. Plays or pauses music on. Sure. So this is another part. So I was expressing like what can you do without devices using the Akara Home app, but of course you can use them with our different kind of ecosystems. Of course, the main ecosystem for us is the Apple HomeKit, and of course you can control the HomePod in this case. You know, the new HomePod Mini can be controlled like this as well. Presented yesterday. Okay. Okay, these are two wireless controllers we have for the US market, wireless controllers. And of course we have, as I have already said, we have some wired controllers. So these are actually two controllers, and one of them has many versions. First of all, let me cover the smart plug. So this is our US type smart plug. So very simple function. Obviously, you just plug any kind of non-smart devices to this kind of smart plug. In our case, this is just a fan. Yeah, connected to some USB power brick. So, and automation here is the following. It is like our Akara mini switch, and mini switch just has an automation which turns on this plug in case single press this single mini switch. Okay, and turns off again when you press again. So really easy configuration using automations in the Akara Home app or any other ecosystem that is supported by our devices and supports automations by itself. For example, HomeKit, of course. Okay, there are not many things about the smart plug, but once again you can use it with many devices. So what are the most typical use cases? For example, some lamp, like candle lamp, or some lamp you can put on the floor, or for example coffee machine, so to turn on this when you get out of the bed, or for example schedule it to turn on, let's say in the morning at a particular time. At the same time you can turn it on or off using complete automations from our sensors. Oh, this was motion sensor once again, or from our wireless controllers such as mini switch. So really easy. Okay, and one more use case, actually a bit interesting case we faced like this year. We did market the use case of a toaster connected to the smart plug, and one of our subscribers just didn't have the toaster that did support this function, the function of remembering power off state, which means like when the power goes back on, so when the smart plug goes on again, in this case toaster should just keep working as it was working before. So unfortunately not all of the toasters have this feature, so not all of the toasters are compatible with this smart plug, but for some people this is a good use case, and we have already seen this kind of toasters. So the use case is as follows. So you just put your bread like in advance into the toaster, and in the morning when you are waking up, you even can maybe notice some smell of this beautiful smell of the fresh toasts inside the toaster, just thanks to our smart plug. Because you know, like normal toasters, you have to come there to press the button to turn it on and wait for 5 minutes or something. In case of this, you will just save this time. Okay, one more use case. As for our smart plug has a regular price of $26, and now we have not a small discount of 20% that drives this Prime Day price from $26 to $20.79, which is also all-time lowest price for this kind of product. Okay, once again the discounts up to 35% on all of our product line except for D2h, although D2h promo codes are still working. Just check our social media or Reddit to get the post about the launch of D2h. The launch happened just a few days ago. You can see the news about it. Okay, and I think the most interesting controllers. One small question from our viewers. So, can I use with Google Home or Amazon Alexa? Sure, you can, but it depends on the product. Yeah. So the controllers they do support without any issues. Some of the sensors do not support these two ecosystems. So, for example, for example, Google does not have automation support. It means that support of the sensors is simply limited for now. I hope Google will announce this kind of support soon, but not yet, unfortunately. So you will be able to use this kind of sensors in the automation from Google. For now, Google is more or less like a voice-driven ecosystem, and I think this is what they want to present. Okay, so I think the most important, the most interesting controller we have now is our Akara wall switch US edition. It supports ZigBee 3.0, and the only controller for now which is sold actually in in the countries like Europe and US, and does support ZigBee 3.0, this new technology from us. I didn't explain what kind of advantages it gives. For example, it can work without hub. So if hub goes down, in this case it will maintain the connection with the sensors or wireless controllers, which are also ZigBee 3.0. Okay, we have 4 versions of this switch. One is obviously single button or single rocker. Second version is double button or double rocker. You can see it here. So obviously US standard, fully compatible without any issues. Okay, and we have 2 other parameters. One more parameter. So this parameter is about the neutral wired. So if your house is built, let's say, more than 30-40 years ago, in this case most likely you will have no neutral wire installed for the switches. I know some people, like on the market, basically the majority of wall switches are not having this kind of feature, so they require a neutral wire, which is unfortunate for many people who live in this kind of old buildings. And some of the people make some ugly DIY mods. For example, they just drill the wall and drive the neutral wire for the plug to there, but this is not very safe, and very troublesome. In case of our switch, we just have the possibility to buy a separate no-neutral edition of the switch. This is the with neutral, but so the price is a bit higher for this kind of version for the switch, but as it is quite unique, so not many switches have this capability, especially the Wi-Fi ones. Simply for Wi-Fi switches, it's not enough power to power up the Wi-Fi IC, so Wi-Fi components. That's why majority of Wi-Fi switches do not have the no-neutral option. Maybe on the US market, completely no switches have this option. Please correct me in case I'm wrong, but I checked it some time ago. Okay, so once again, 4 models of the switch. The switch also can be used in a 2, 3, or 1 gang setup. What does it mean? It means that we have a frame. This is a frame which is supplied together with the switch. Actually, it's a small one. Let's say advantage, because for many switches, it's like especially Z-Wave compatible ones, they just do not include this kind of frame into the package, which is a bit unfortunate in case you just want to change your old, a bit not nice looking plane to something more smart or new looking one. So in our case, we just have this kind of frame, but in case you have a 2 or 3 gang switch, our switch does support the standard format, which is called Akara. So it means that in case you have 3 gang switch, you don't have to hesitate and find some like special kind of frames. They don't spend more money. So you just use this switch with your existing frame, and it will just work. So you can put it inside this 3 gang or 2 gang frame with other switches, such as dumb switches or even smart switches of our competitors. No problem. It will just work. One more interesting feature about this switch is that we have a 2-button version. Actually, not many switches on the market do have these 2-button versions. So 1 switch, 2 buttons. Yeah. So some of them do have like 2 gang, 2 buttons, but it doesn't make much sense. So you can basically buy 2 of our switches instead of buying 1, 2 gang from other manufacturer. Let's say. Yeah. But in our case, we have 2 buttons in 1 gang. I do know that many of the homes do have just 1 gang for 2 devices to connect to the switch, but this is one use case. And in this case, you can even save more. Let's say you have a 3 gang switch, okay, 2 gang switch, where you want to make it completely smart. In case, let's say, of some of our Wi-Fi competitors, which have just 1 button per switch, in this case, you will have to buy 2 switches, 2 smart switches, and use them together. So let's say even if it's Wi-Fi, not ZigBee, not so advanced, but you will have to multiply by 2, and the price of these cheap switches will be even more than the price of our 2-button wall switch, especially without our Prime Day discount. And in this case, you can get better solution for even less money. And how it will look like? You will have a frame with 2 gangs. So let's say it's twice as big. So 2 gangs. You will buy some cheap, cheap plastic plate here to cover one of them, and you will use our 2-button switch in the second hole of this frame. And in this case, you will just like connect 2 of your lights or fans or any other electrical devices which are supported to our 2-button switch. And in this case, you will just use 1 switch like you had to use before. You had to buy 2 switches of 1 button instead of 1 switch of 2 buttons. Okay, one more interesting feature. We just introduced this feature let's say 1 month ago from the actual physical relay. actual physical switch. So what is cool about this feature? For example, you have a simple 1-gate switch and you install our 2-button switch instead of like 1-gate switch, and you can just program one button to control one light or fan which is connected to the switch, and use the second button to control anything you want using the automations. For example, you can control the smart plug using the second button. So what else? You can turn on the light using another switch using second button. You can turn on and off this kind of like RGB LED light of our hub as well, or even some fans and so on. So I think this is quite unique. Not many switches on the market do have this feature, and we did introduce it, unfortunately not along with the launch of our wall switch, but we did it. So finally it's supported. One more interesting thing about this feature is that finally, using our like official wiring method, which is expressed in our user manual, you can check it on Amazon or on our official website. With this kind of wiring method, you can actually use our switches in 3-way setups. I understand that it does not make our switch like fully compatible with 3-way setups, which means like one switch cannot run one 3-way setup, but in case you like 2 of our switches, and as you know, today our switches has a pretty big discount of, okay, let me check, so of on average like 20, more than 30% actually discount, which is I think amazing about it. So using this you will get the really low price for this kind of switch, okay, ever lowest price. What I wanted to say, okay, bring support, pitch from the way. And the difference between non-neutral and grid neutral I already explained. So the price for these 4 different versions of this wall switch, US wall switch, is the following. So of course, grid neutral version, which is more or less common, has the lower price. For example, the regular price is $40, but actually with the discount, the price is much lower. It's like $26. This is all-time lowest, as I have already said. So this price goes very close to some of the Wi-Fi solution, and especially in HomeKit supported segment. This is, I think, the best, the cheapest deal of the switch, which is, I think, wall switch. I think amazing as well, because compared to Wi-Fi, you will get all the benefits of Zigbee network I have already expressed. So what kind of benefits you will get? So direct connections. This is Zigbee 3.0. Okay, battery life. Of course, there is no battery inside the switch. Okay. Let's repeat it, yeah? So repeaters, actually switch with neutral will act as a repeater for your network. So if some of the devices Zigbee signal is not very good at your home, you can check it in Akara home app, for example. In this case, you will be able to make this connection better by using our switch in between the hub and the actual wireless controller. Or wireless sensor, yeah? Okay, one more is direct connection, Zigbee 3.0. Once again, if the hub goes down, 2 Zigbee 3.0 devices will maintain the connection, and this is amazing, something different. Other smart home technologies don't have simply. Okay, one more, the speed. Once again, the speed like this. As for the automations, yeah. So let's say this automation is also run by the US wall switch. As I have already said, let's imagine the switch is connected there, yeah, to this light, and this light is the dumb light, a normal LED bulb, and this switch participates in the automation between this door window sensor and the light. And when you open the door, the light will just immediately go on, or it will go off in case you close the door. Let's test again. On, yeah, very fast. Off. Just like it should be. Yeah? Okay, once again, if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments and I'll answer them here on the live stream. Okay, so what else can I say about the wall switch? Okay, actually nothing, but I think this is one of the most important of our controllers, because the more controllers we have, the more things we can do using automations from our, basing on the triggering of our sensors. Okay. One more product we have here is actually a bundle of all of our not all of our, but majority, the most important of our sensors, and obviously the Akara Hub. This bundle is called Akara Smart Home Starter Kit. So it's here, like a nice box. How many devices? Okay. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 devices. What kind of devices? One controller, one like wired controller, which will also act as a repeater for sensors, which is the smart plug. Wireless controller, which is the wireless mini switch. Okay, the contact or door window sensor, which I did already explain the use of, and the motion sensor here. These are all the devices, and the hub as well. So once again, this is not just the hub, but also very powerful and loud alarm with the speaker and the RGB light, which can blink, for example, in case of Waterline Sensor. Waterline Sensor is not here. Okay. Let's test it again. Yeah. Waterline Sensor is not a part of this bundle, unfortunately, but this is, I think, the most important sensors you can start getting started. You can start your smart home setup from. Once again, Waterline Sensor, and what Hub can do in this case, you can start blinking and turns on the alarm, right? Or sensing a notification using your local or internet, local network or internet. Okay, very simple, yeah? So this is the additional functionality of the hub, which is also part of our smart home starter kit. As for the smart home starter kit and the deals we have regarding this smart home starter kit, so the regular price is $129.99, but for now we have a big discount of 31%. Once again, the all-time lowest price and the all-time highest discount for Prime members during this Amazon Prime Day. The price now is just $90, which is $89.99, which is, I think, very impressive for this kind of big bundle. And one more small feature of this bundle is that all the devices are already pre-configured. Yeah. So, for example, when you take them out of the box, connect the hub, connect the smart plug or the sensors, they will be already added to your Akara home app. So we'll just start using it. You don't have to like press the button, wait, connect, and so on, which is, I think, like pretty unique. Okay, and now let me repeat the thing about all the sensors and controllers we have now and all the discounts we have on Amazon. So once again, one more interesting sensor is the temperature humidity sensor. This is something I forgot. So it's here. This is our small sensor, battery powered one. The battery life of, once again, 2 years. And this kind of sensor can register 3 things, as I have already said. So temperature, humidity, and the atmospheric pressure. So, and what kind of automations are useful in my case, for example? In my case, this kind of sensor does control my wired wall switch in a way that the wall switch is connected to bathroom exhaust, and in case the humidity in bathroom gets more than 80%, this sensor just tells this switch to turn on the bathroom exhaust, and after that the humidity obviously goes down because the wet air is put out of my bathroom. The same can be done, for example, with a wired fan, ceiling fan, which is, I think, also quite handy. So in case the temperature will come higher, in this case it can the fan can go on. Or for example, in case you open the window, I don't know, for me it sounded quite weird, but I think many people have this kind of automation. I've seen it. Okay, they just open the window and trigger, like check it using the door window sensor, and in case this kind of window is open, the ceiling fan starts to ventilate the air. It means that the air from outside will come and make your make your air in the room more fresh, which is amazing. Okay, what is the automation about this temperature humidity sensor? A bit weird automation, but what I did actually to configure the automation that will turn on this fan in case the humidity comes more than 90%. So my initial idea was like this. So because you know your the exhaust of a human is actually very wet, yeah. So, but in this case, I just was holding it in this way, and the humidity was raising just because I was holding it. So that's why this automation started working, and now we have this small fan turned on. Okay, once again, any questions? We don't have much time now, so feel free to ask the questions if you have any. Okay, this is about all the sensors. Vibration sensor, once again, you see, just small vibration and the light turns on, automation. Once again, like wireless mini switch, one press, single press, or double press, or long press. 3 actions for all of your like ecosystems or Akara home app. Okay, door window sensor already shown. The cube, once again, we have a bit weird automation, so shake the cube and we have a barking D2h Smart Camera. Okay. Our beautiful wall switch, 4 versions, with neutral 1 button, with neutral 2 buttons, no neutral 1 button, no neutral 2 buttons. The discount from 31 to for 33 to 35%. This is the highest discount we have for this Amazon Prime Day between all of our products. So this is about the wall switch. Okay, what else? What else do we have? The cube motion sensor, once again, very fast, very big field of view, just like triggers the automation based on the motion. Okay, and water leak sensor. Oh, you see, this is because the humidity was going down, and now this kind of smart bucket turned off. So let's try once again. Maybe not so fast because this is so quite fast. Done. You see, it works. Okay, and water leak sensor, just protection for your water leaks. I know some of the protection systems are paid, like subscription per month, and I hope someday we will have like the full scale water leak protection. But for now, just notifications and alarms within there. Once again, let's try. Yes. Very good. During this live stream, we didn't have any false positives or the alarms not triggering. It means that our products are capable of having quite a stable functioning using automations. Okay. That's all the products we have. And of course, hub and starter kit. Once again, Akara hub, just one controller. I did already explain what kind of additional functionality does it have. And as for the discount, we have the following one. So a regular Akara hub. Okay, regular price is 60 USD, so $59.99. Discount is 33%, which is very big. So now the price is $39.99, which is once again all-time lowest. And of course the starter kit, the price equals $89.99 USD, all-time lowest as usual. Starter kit is just a kit of our sensors and controller, smart plug, and the hub together, configured together. And okay, let's speak about our D2h camera. We did launch this camera some days ago. Do we have any more comments, guys? No more comments. Okay. So this is the D2h home kit secure video camera. We launched it just a few days ago, long-awaited product, but now I think everybody is quite happy about this camera because now we have really attractive pricing for this camera. So check our recent announcement posts. So what is special about this camera? For example, of course, the home kit secure video support, because not many cameras on the market do have this support. So we have only, let's say, some 6 cameras that support this function. And what is cool about this home kit secure video is that practically for those who use Apple HomeKit or Apple's ecosystem with Icloud, all the storage and all the processing functionality of this camera has no hidden or extra fees. It means, for example, you have a subscription of 200 gigabytes on the Apple's Icloud storage, and I know we just made a small questionnaire, and surprisingly, like almost every one of our, let's say, users does have the iCloud subscription, especially in Europe and the US. So it means that for majority of such users, this kind of camera will be free of charge in terms of cloud storage, which is, I think, quite amazing. So if you have a iCloud plan of 200 gigabytes, you will have one free camera available, and if you have like 2 terabytes or more, just 2 terabytes, this case you will be able to add 5 cameras and have a 10 days or 14 days. How many days? Wait. Sorry. How many days storage on the computer? Okay, I think 14 days storage on iCloud. Well, let me double check this. Okay. So storage on iCloud, all the motion captured footage from your camera will be stored in the cloud, and what is more amazing, will be processed by your humidity is going down. So will be processed locally using your HomeKit hub, which is, I think, something that other systems do not have. And what kind of features does this kind of processing have? Like free of charge processing. One of the newest and most amazing features is obviously the face recognition of iCloud, especially based on iCloud photo library. So for example, in your library, you have your family members. Let's say you have 5 family members, and Apple iCloud already knows who is who. In this case, you will not have to teach your camera who is who. And this is something very new, because before, if you have a, let's say, a face recognition enabled camera, in some cases, for example, in case of Untitled, you had to teach this camera for 1 month or even more. In case of iCloud, the system is already taught who is who, and it will detect someone approaching your door or approaching your camera, and will send you a notification about this event. Okay, this is first, I think, most important features about the iCloud and HomeKit Secure Video, which is processed once again on your HomeKit local hub, which can be HomePod or the newest HomePod Mini, or iPad or Apple TV. So this is how HomeKit works actually, without any extra fees for those who have iCloud subscriptions, and there are many people having it in case they have iPhone, for example. Okay, one more important feature of the D2h camera is the hub function. So once again, it's not just a regular camera; it is also a hub. So it means you don't need to buy a Akara hub in case you want to connect our sensors to the D2h. So thank you guys, those who have participating in our D2h launch campaign. So and our idea is the following: during the launch campaign, we did have some impressive discounts, and many people already applied these discounts to get their D2h camera. And during the Prime Day, the same people will be able just to get our sensors and controllers to connect to D2h camera, vibration again, to connect to D2h camera and use them together without needing to purchase a separate smart home hub. Okay, so what else? We obviously have some regular features such as night mode using the infrared diodes. So what is good about these diodes, that the frequency is the wavelength is just 940 nanometers, which is higher than the majority of our competing solutions. And in this case, this light is completely invisible using the night. And as our users have already said, this is our advantage. We actually did not know about before. Okay. Of course, we have this nice detachable magnetic stand to fix it as you want, and we also have some special plate you can also stick to the wall and so on. Okay, these are the good things about the Akara D2h camera. We already launched it some time ago, and the discount is still live, as well as all the discounts of our Prime Day deal. So once again, all the devices here are now having the discount and all-time lowest prices. So take your advantage and be able to just enjoy this intelligence of all of our devices, which will work together in form of automations, or in form of being controlled by voice assistants or wireless controllers. That was Philip. Thank you for your attention. Sure. See you in the next.